Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Salutation and salutations to the brothers out there that are laboring and pushing this truth in truth and in sincerity and in charity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. To you I say Shalom. To the Akim and to the Akwaf, I'll be you brothers and sisters. Adawan Ratazah, that is to say, Lord willing. Hopefully by the end of this lesson, you'll be edified. This is your brother Amawan Ibad from the GMS Miami camp, Heralds of Yahweh Shai, 144. Back again with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, to feed the lambs of Yahweh. Yahweh Shai has commanded. And this lesson is an all organic lesson all through the Spirit. Whatever the Spirit allows, that will I speak upon. So we see where the Spirit takes me. Give me a quick second here. I'm trying to pull something up real quick. So yeah, I was trying to put up the chat GPT, but something went wrong. Let me wait and I'll close it again. Bear with me here. Okay. Yeah, so much going on. So much going on. Don't even know where to start from, man. But we got to stay focused, stay locked in, all right? Because, you know, at the end of the day, we know the will of the Lord is going to be done. We know prophecy is going forth, okay? But we can see the commotion in the earth, on the planet, all right? We see the inflation, all right? We see the madness of the people, the uproars of the people, all right? The scriptures tell you how in the last days there will be uproars among the people. All right? All right. We see these nations being mad because they don't want to be oppressed and have things weaponized against them like sanctions and, you know, tariffs. All right? The scripture speaks about that, how the nations have drunken of a wine and now the nations are mad. We're living in a time now where the nations are mad. Okay? Let me grab that precept real quick and bring that out, because it's the time that we're in right now. All right, these different nations, all right, feel like they're being oppressed in a certain type of way, and they're upset about it, man. Okay. Where's that? Jeremiah. I think it's Jeremiah 51:7. Yes. It says, Jeremiah 51:7, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. And this Babylon is not speaking of ancient Babylon. This is speaking of the daughter of Babylon, aka America. Babylon the Great, that great city. Okay? The nations have drunken of her wine. And now the nations are mad. We're living in a time now where China is, all right, not taking on that debt anymore. All right, you know, the U.S., all right, have a debt like about 38 trillion. That's what they're saying, but it could possibly be more, which the citizens are tied to. When you look at the debt clock, they have a debt clock you could pull up, okay? And you could look at it, man. All right? Japan, all right, buys the most the U.S. debt, man. Japan, all right, they selling off it. They selling it off now. They're not really looking to buy it anymore. All right? And so these nations are doing their own thing. Okay? Therefore, you have the BRICS nations. All right? Brazil, Russia, India, all right, China, South Africa. They make up the BRICS nations, and now you have other nations like Saudi Arabia and other nations that actually join in the BRICS. All right, I think Saudi Arabia joined already. You have more nation states that want to join the BRICS, and they think is circumventing the dollar. All right, they trading among themselves in their own currency. Okay, that's what Maduro started to do. All right, with China and Russia and others. Okay, so that's not good for the dollar. They do have a thing called de-dollarization. Okay, and so the daughter of Babylon, aka America, has a great debt that it can't seem to fix the problem or get rid of. That's a debt you can't get away from. 38 trillion. The scripture speaks about that, man. All right, those that laden themselves with thick clay. All right, when you go into that word in the Hebrew, is ibatyat, which means debt. Okay, let me see if I could grab that real quick. It's in Habakkuk. Let's go there right quick. Salakia. Habakkuk. Let's go to it. Bear with me. Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Right here. The 6th verse. It says, "Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his." Right? How long? Unto him that laden himself with thick clay. See? Let me start at 4 and read down real quick. It says, "Behold," Habakkuk 2 and 4, "Behold, a soul which is lifted up is not upright in him," meaning Esau, the wicked, "but the just shall live by faith." See? The elect. It says, "Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied." See? But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. This man could never have enough, man. Psalms 73rd chapter tell you how he has more than heart can wish. All right, and he's not in trouble like other men. Verse 6, this is the point. "Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? Unto him that ladeth himself with thick clay." Let's look up this real quick in the blue letter. Okay, let's look this up real quick. Oh my goodness, what just happened? Bear with me here. I'm trying to pull it up. I'm trying to get it in the blue letter right quick. All right. Here we go. It's H5671. Right. See? Weight of pledges. Heavy debts. Okay? Heavy debts. Weight of pledges. Heavy debts. All right? So that's what that thick clay is going into. right? So going back, as a matter of fact, real quick, let me see if I could get the debt clock. Let's see if I can get that to pull up. Here we go. See? This is the debt clock you're looking at right now. Okay? Let me see if I can blow it up. Right? Let's see if I can find the main number. Where is that right now? There we go. U.S. national debt, 38 trillion. Okay? 38 trillion, 673 billion, 553 million. And the clocks keep turning. And the clock keep turning, man. See? And this is tied directly to each citizen, man. You see? So, yeah. It's no coming back from that. Okay? That's the debt clock. So you see it for yourself. Okay? Let's go to ChatGPT. I'm asked on ChatGPT, is there any chance of fixing the debt? Let's see what it says. Why is this thing just won't go down, man? I don't get it. Bear with me here. My printer is like directly in the way. I don't know why it's just staying here. Usually it would go down when you start to type. What's going on here, man? I'm gonna have problems doing this because it won't go down. Let me see something. I'm trying to get the type bar. Let me see. Bear with me here. Okay, let me see. Nope, that's not it. I'm trying to type, but I want to turn the phone sideways. Maybe that. All right, let me just do this for a second. Let me just do this for a second, see if this helps. I have a feeling this is the only way to probably let me get it. Bear with me. Is there a chance of fixing the U.S. debt? Is there a chance of fixing the U.S. debt? I'm asking ChatGPT. Let's see what it says. Yes, but it depends entirely on what we mean by fixing and whether there is political will to act. Let's break it down clearly. First, how bad is it? U.S. national debt is roughly 34 trillion. It's more than that. We just pull out the debt clock. See, they done off already. Debt to GDP ratio 120% plus. Annual deficits typically 1 to 2 trillion per year. Interest payments are now one of the largest federal expenses. The U.S. is not about to go bankrupt, but the trajectory is unusually. Oh my goodness, my hand just pressed this thing. Hold on. It took it all the way down to the bottom. It says, okay, it says, where it was, yeah. It says, annually deficits typically 1 to 2 trillion per year. Interest payments are now one of the largest federal expenses. The U.S. is not about to go bankrupt, but the trajectory is unsustainable long term if nothing changes. And ain't nothing is going to change, because the scriptures already say Babylon is not going to be healed. All right, we would have healed Babylon, but she would not be healed. Take balm for her. All right, that's the book of Jeremiah. All right, so this is going on with a bunch of things, but because remember, more and more is being added to the debt as the day go by, as time go by, and they just doing quantitative easing and all this different kind of stuff. But even the bankers be telling you, man. All right, this guy, what's his name again? I forget. Who owned Chase Bank? I forget his name. He even was saying this how bad things is, and this guy Elon Musk. I just see something with Elon Musk yesterday. Was going into that, how the place is going downhill real fast. And they're talking about computer programming systems, like bringing in AI to save the day and this kind of stuff. But Babylon is not going to be healed, man, according to the scriptures. All right, it's not going to be healed. Okay, so let's go back to the scriptures. Let's go back to the scriptures real quick. Let me find that scripture. Okay. Let me grab that. Let's go to Jeremiah. All right. Okay. Let me pull it up real quick. All right. Jeremiah 51 and verse 8. Jeremiah 51 and verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so be she might be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and it is filled and is lifted up even to the skies. Okay, and all this is prophecy, because you got people right now leaving and going to their own countries, leaving America, because they saying they doing bad here. Inflation is high, grocery is high, rent is high. All right, the housing market is through the roof. Okay, people saying the American dream is not the American dream to them. All right, attaining home ownership right now is crazy. All right, so people are starting to go back to their home countries, man, which is prophecy. Okay, there ain't no healing in Babylon. Ain't no way they can fix this debt. These nations are, like I mentioned earlier. All right, China and Japan. All right, they're the two biggest buyers of the U.S. debt, and they ain't buying it no more right now. They looking to sell. Okay, and again, the BRICS nations really trading among themselves in their own currency. They really circumventing and going around the dollar, which is leading to de-dollarization, which means it's going to lead to high inflation in times to come. So these nations are mad because they drunk that Babylonian wine, okay, and they acting out. They pulling together. Then you got this guy Nero, all right, Trump, all right. The way he's acting, he just pushing these nations together, and they banding together, and they doing whatever they could do, all right, to show that, hey, they pulling together. Like as it says in Joel, the third chapter, let the weak say I'm strong. All right, Ezekiel 38. All right, Gog is going to be a god unto these nations, which is Russia. Okay, and we already starting to see that happen, man. So there is no healing in Babylon, man. Okay, she will not be healed, man, according to scripture, according to prophecy. I just read it. All right, Jeremiah 51 and 8. All right, so I'm gonna have to end it there. All right, Lord willing, you were edified, and I might title this lesson. It's just entitle it that. There is no healing Babylon. Okay? There is no healing Babylon, man. Okay, so Lord willing, you were edified. I'm ended there, giving all honor, glory, and praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. That were honest to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Salutation and salutations to the brothers out there that are laboring and pushing this truth in truth and in sincerity and in charity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. With that, until the next time, Shalom.